So we
Start over. You better start over now.
So as it pertains to host coaching, you guys all should have received, or you can download from the website, the 8-Day 101 party document. In there is a lot of information, a lot of good information. It might seem cheesy to some people. It might seem, repetitive. But that particular document for my first year of being a consultant was like a Bible for me. I ran day by day. I ran that document, and I actually took it and I broke it into 8 different documents. So I would have a Friday 1 document all the way through the week, and a Friday 2 document. So I knew exactly what I was doing each day. So in there, and your host coaching begins at the moment that you book the party.
Hold on.
All right. Oh. So your host coaching should actually start from the moment you book the party. At that point, you've already kind of laid out to your host what their responsibilities are going to be. Now, am I guilty of not doing 100%? Absolutely. I have been guilty of doing that. Life sometimes is busy, and you just can't always do everything, but I try. The one thing that for the first year of being a consultant that I did not do is I did not send out host packets. Any of you send out host packets?
I'm trying to get better at that, because you forget that you're online.
Uh-huh.
Actually, we had a bad blizzard. Actually, I take that back. Nicole has sent one for me because I forget I didn't send one out. And then someone asked, but now I brought home, and I think it's like $7 or something. That no matter how much you send at the post office, it's $7. And I mean, you make that off of a party. So,
well, what I've started doing since I decided I was going to promote is, I believe it was last fall. And Tammy, I'm not sure if I did this with your party, but I know I did with everybody else. I actually create packets, and I put a catalog in an envelope as well as a letter. In the letter, it kind of breaks down, what the expectations are. Again, it also has a little blurb about the opportunity. I also include an opportunity brochure in the thing, and then depending on what I have on hand, I may or may not add like a little gift. My favorite thing to add is like one of the small flexible cutting mats, not the large size, but the smaller size, because they're light and they fit in an envelope. So I have been known to just order 8 or 10 packs of those, and I don't send them the whole pack. I will open it up and I just slide one in there. People tend to like that, but that gets you, because nowadays they're saying that if you're recruiting, you should be offering the opportunity at least 5 times to every host. So I've already offered it once when I was trying to get them to book, because I generally lead with the offer of the opportunity before I ask anybody to book, unless they just reach out to me and tell me that they want to host a party. So I've already asked them once there, and then I've asked them twice by sending them the packet. So that only leaves me 3 more times during the party. So it doesn't seem so hardcore and in your face during the party. That's just me. I'm just telling you what my process is. The one thing that I had stopped doing as well that I'm starting to get better at is we should really be reaching out to our hosts, not the day we're setting up the party, but probably the week before, just as a reminder. And, I'm really excited about your party coming up, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, rather than reaching out and, hey, your party's set up, start inviting people. There's a lot of people that, that kind of throws them off because it's like, oh crap, I forgot all about this. You know? So that's something else that you want to do. And also in that document, how many of you guys have and be honest, how many of you guys have actually read through that document and looked through the entire thing?
I have.
Okay. Also, are you taking my picture?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah.
No, I'm hiding my face. I'm hiding my face when you ask questions like that.
Okay.
I feel like I'm put on the
Well, I didn't know if I needed to like pose or something. So in that document, there's the, what is it called? The host booking challenge. How many of you are actually, or have read that or actually do that?
I had read about it and then I forgot about it and now I'm trying to do it again.
Yeah.
Let me
I haven't tried it yet.
let me give you my opinion about that, because it is a great tool. So let me preface that. I'm not trying to say that there's anything wrong with it. I have found personally, now that other people have had better luck, so it could just be my delivery, that when you send it in an individual message, that a lot of times your hosts are just like, yeah, not really. Or they'll do it and they tell you they've done it, but they don't include you in on the group message, so you're not sure if they really did it. What I find personally that works best for me is if I have multiple hosts and I try to get them to work against each other. I try to get them to compete against each other, and then about halfway through the party, I lay out this competition of who gets me 3 bookings first, and the first one that gets me 3 bookings, and depending on your month, you could go up or down of what you offer them, but the minimum I will offer them would be like, free shipping. The first one to give me three bookings, I'll give you free shipping. I've gone so far a couple months ago, and it actually worked very well for me. I told them that the first one that got me 5 bookings I would after the 5th party qualified, I would send them their choice of product up to $100. And then you can do this one of 2 ways. Like I said, this all depends on your month. If you're not doing, or if you're not having a great month, you are obviously not going to want to do something like that. But what I did, you could do it one of 2 ways. When you send them their gift, you could plop it into another party. So you're going to pay full price for it, but you're going to get, if you're having a good month, you're going to get up to 27% commission returned on that. Okay. Or if it's something like that we have in the catalog and you're going to order it, you're already going to get a minimum of 20% discount by ordering it through you. And when you order it through like a consultant order, you can send it to whatever address you want to. You don't have to send it to your address. So you're going to get that discount, and if you have PC dollars, you can pay for it with your PC dollars. So those are a couple ideas. And when it comes down to it, okay, it was for 5 parties. If I have a good party for somebody out, $20 is half of the minimum that we would make on a $200 party. So you've still bettered yourself. And like I said, I'm not telling you got to go out and offer $100 to these people. And I didn't do it for all of my hosts. It was whoever got me the 5 first. Everybody else just got free shipping from me. So that was one thing that is really, if it comes down to it, you're really trying to load up your month or something like that, that's an idea of doing something like that as well. I don't encourage, and this is one of the things that they kind of repeated back to us when I went on this training this past week. I don't encourage these beggings and pleadings for parties on your pages or on your VIP page. I don't even necessarily always love like the little post that you'll see, pick a number 1 through 10 and I'll send you a message, you might win a gift. To me, it's kind of like a bait and switch. Now I have, just to be clear, because you guys might see stuff like that on my VIP, I have made similar things where I'll number it and I'll ask, and it's usually pertaining to the next month's special. Like last month I did one for cookware and I was like, which piece of cookware would you prefer, 1 through whatever number? And I'll message them and offer them a party because our cookware is on special at 60% off next month. So I will do something like that to just see who's interested in the cookware. But I don't like these. Yes.
Oh, could you tell I'm still a student?
Yeah.
So I have a question. So the other day on my VIP page, trying to step out of my box just a little bit, and it's not comfortable, but I did offer to do a cooking show. And I do have 2 people who want that. Dang it. I was hoping nobody would, but I have 2 people. Do you think that that's okay to, like?
Oh, yeah.
I'm not begging for a party,
No,
but
no. When you're
box.
offering an additional service, that's absolutely fine.
Okay.
You can do like that. That and when I first started, I was guilty of it. I would get on there and I've been challenged to sell X amount of this. Anybody that helps me out, and it was a begging type thing. We got to realize especially with our stuff, but direct sales in general, you're offering a service. You're offering them the opportunity to get this product at such a huge discount when their parties qualify. So yes, it takes some work sometimes to get those extra parties. I just went through a month of that myself. So we're all human. We all struggle at some times. I know Justine doesn't have any more than 19 or 20 parties a month.
But what? Here's something that's really good, and it's not. I try not to beg, if you will, but I try to, of course, be their friends. I'm their friends. The other day, I had 2 of my post hosts ask if I had a party going on, and I'm like, and this week I took off. I'm like, nope, I don't have a party going on. They're like, do you care if we just order then?
Right.
But you start building that relationship that you don't have to always have a party. I mean, sometimes they'll just order from you, and sure, it's a $20 order or $30 order, but it's still an order.
Right, and I'm absolutely not saying we should not post, make posts to try to get parties. I'm just saying the ones that have that begging feeling to it, I would discourage you, because with myself, if somebody comes to me like that, I'm immediately turned off, and I just keep scrolling. So we want to just be careful of that, and and Justine just touched on it as well, and I know Tammy, you do this, but becoming friends with your potential hosts is a huge thing. Even if they don't book with you right now, you've got that relationship going. So either 1, they're going to continue ordering from you when they want or need something, or 2, they're going to end up eventually booking a party with you. So that's the goal. Is not we always want immediate satisfaction, but we got to look at the life of our business, and if you just have for lack of a better analogy, if you just have these one night stands and you do the party and it's off to the next, it's not gonna you're always going to be struggling for bookings, and when you're creating the relationship with them and you're becoming their friend, and I'm talking about even once in a while look at people's past hosts pages and just make a comment, or if you see something going on in their life, send them a quick message and, I'm thinking about you, or, I saw the post about your son, great job, or something like that. You just want to, keep in their life. That way, they feel like they're important to you, and they should be important to us. So that's the big thing, is I just feel like a lot of people, not just on our team, but I just think a lot of people are really missing the boat on host coaching. I don't necessarily love that term. I, think it's more of a relationship building. And then, also one thing that we all need to pay attention to is our presence in social media, whether it's on Facebook or whatever channel you're on. You need to be mindful of the things you're posting, the things that you're putting out there in the public, and then also on your VIP page. The one thing that really struck me hard when I went to conference was they had us do an assignment where we actually sat down and thought about our personal brand, not the Pampered Chef brand, but what do you think your customers think of you? And and I even took a poll with a few of them, a few of my customers in my VIP page, and I came up with kind of like my own branding, and then I hold myself true to that. And that doesn't just go for your hosts and your customers. That goes for you if you're recruiting. That goes for your team members, and your downline, your upline. It affects every part of your life, really. But because the one thing that I always pride myself is giving service beyond what is expected. But when I took that poll line, there was a couple of things in there that I was like, I don't really like that they said that about me. So you have to be mindful of that. And also, on our VIP pages, do we all have VIP pages, or working on them, or thought about them at all? Because I really do encourage a VIP, I say page, a VIP group that you can have, and you add your host to them. As people are in the parties, you can add them to it, because that kind of keeps all of your customer base in one place. And I haven't seen all of yours. I can tell you the one that out of our team that really sticks out to me is Tammy's. Tammy is very active in her. And you do a lot better job than even I do on your VIP page. As far as having constant posting and interaction with your members and recognizing people and stuff like that. And I love that. And it's going to come back tenfold to you eventually. So if you guys want to see a good VIP page and Tammy doesn't mind, I would see if you could be added to hers. And Tammy, I'm not saying keep the whole team on your VIP page forever, but maybe for a week or two and just see how you're doing things, because I'm really impressed. I really impressed with the way you do yours.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So that's that. And as I prefaced earlier, always be mindful of what we're sharing, commenting on, and posting on your walls. If you have to think about how it makes you feel, then you might want to think about how it's going to make somebody else feel.
I think that's in any profession, though. You know what I mean? You need to be careful, because
it absolutely is. But on the flip side, and I'm guilty of this, you don't want to go so far to where you don't post anything, because then your visibility is not there. And the more you're visible, the more people are going to have you right there on their timeline. And I'm guilty of that. I just I'll get on there, I'll run my business, and I don't really post anything, because I'm number one, I don't want to have anybody with a different opinion posting or something like that. So I just choose not to put anything on there, and I keep my opinions and my personal life. Just that.
Nothing political.
Exactly. Nothing political, nothing religious, and nothing opinionated. And that's not a rule from Pampered Chef. That's more advice for your Pampered Chef business. That's, nobody's going to come and say, you know what, we didn't like your opinion. We're taking your consultant ID away. That's not going to happen. But to make it better on yourself and a better chance of growth, I would encourage you to be careful. And and I'll give you an example. I had my sister-in-law had a party, of several months ago. It was right around the time that Tammy joined. So late summer, early fall, and I had befriended one of her party members and talking to this person about joining my team and everything. But then she started like putting some crazy stuff out there on her Facebook wall about, anti this and pro that, and aliens are coming, and I'm just like, oh good Lord, and I ended up having, seriously, she was talking about aliens, and, and I was like, I gotta get her off my.
Tammy was?
No, this person, no, she was talking about Tammy being an alien, and so yeah, I just had to unfriend her because I was like, I don't need that kind of mess on my page.
And it's great to have multiple parties at a time. It's great to do that, but when you work full time and you also have multiple parties. And yes, Post My Party is an amazing tool. However, you still have to pay attention to those parties that you're having. And if you're not around, it's palpable. You know what I mean? It's palpable when you're not commenting and you're not. And the hosts still think that the party is great and they're having a blast.
Right.
But I had a party a few weeks ago, and I felt like I didn't do it justice. It was kind of one of those where everybody was commenting, but I mean, I had a lot of stuff going on personally, professionally, school-wise, and I just didn't feel like I gave it what I should have. So I picked something very small. It was probably, I don't know, I think it was like a $3 paring knife or something. And there were probably maybe, and it was a good party, but there were probably 10 people. And I actually bought, or I told them, I said, you know what, you guys did a great party. I apologize that I wasn't as attentive as I felt I should be. And they're like, no, afterwards you did great. I said, I'm going to add something little to each of your party, and thank you so much for being in our party. And I mean, yeah, it cost maybe $30, maybe, I can't remember. It was minimal. I made good money on it, and I have return customers because they remember that it wasn't all about the almighty dollar.
Right.
So you have to spend.
And that's just it. I mean, even right now I have a fundraiser going. And I do my fundraisers a little bit different, just so you know. I do my fundraisers as an actual party. And then I personally do a donation to the charity. And then but I use the same percentage that Pampered Chef offers. But that way your host still gets benefits. And then what I do is for the parties, I will, instead of $3 per party, I give them $6 per party. And then at the end of the year, it's a tax write-off because it's coming from me. So it's still the same thing. But I do that. But that's one of the things that I do as well, is especially if it's something that you felt you didn't do as well, or if it's a fundraiser, you can kind of choose your benefits and what you want to do for them to make it better. There's some people, that have just joined, and it's like, I'm not giving $30 a knife to no damn body. but the thing is, even a short little thank you note or a thank you message within the party will go a long way. I just communicating and being friends with these people, offer them a free recipe, and you just get to do a snippet of a recipe from the website and give it to them, and it's like gold to them. So those are all things that you can do, and that's one thing that I do, and this is more of a relationship building, is when people order out of my parties, I do two things. I post a thank you post within the party. In that party, I tell them to check their messages for a fun recipe from me. And then what I do is I send them a private message. I send them a friend request, and then I send them a private message, and I'll thank them again in that message for supporting the party. And I picked this recipe out just for you. I hope you like it. And I'll send them just a snippet that I've taken from a recipe off the website. Usually what I do, I don't know if you guys know this, but when you look at somebody's order and you click on the product, once the product opens up, if you scroll all the way down to the bottom, you will see recipes that pertain to that particular product. So I usually choose a recipe that pertains to the product, to one of the products that they've ordered, and that's the recipe that I'll send over to them. So that's one of the things that
Good idea. I'm aware that you can get recipes for those.
I'm sorry?
So that's a good idea. I didn't know that there was recipes attached to those orders, to those products.
Yeah, because once you click on one of the products, it'll open the web page, and you can scroll all the way down. So that, and honestly, I've been doing this 2 years. I just learned that about 3 months ago.
It was my first party on Saturday, so.
so you're well ahead of the game. So, anything else? Do you guys have any questions about anything? Something that you were hoping I would touch on that I haven't, or? No?
I'm going to tell you that for host coaching, Kelsey, instead of doing a group message, she has started a group page for her hosts for the month. And she has all kinds of host coaching tips she puts in there. I was in there, and it's really nice. And her hosts get pretty involved with it. And I had mentioned to her that I might bring it up one of these calls when she was on the call. I don't know if she's there still or not.
I know, that's fine.
I would like to be added to that if you don't mind, Kelsey.
Yeah, I can add you. It has not been as successful for this month as it was for last, but I feel like they're probably, I don't know, my parties last week were really successful, so maybe they kind of took some from it. This week's been a little bit slower, but March they really took from it. I did two kind of contests between them, and the first one, it was like whoever adds the most guests and gets the most people to join their party, they got some kind of gift, some kind of free thing. And then the other one was whoever has the most sales, and that was usually a little bit of a bigger gift. And one of my parties had like 80 people from it, so that was kind of helpful. And then one of my parties had like $900 in sales. So
nice.
Wow.
Now, speaking of members, that's one thing I wanted to ask. How many of you actually follow up with your hosts, like during the week of inviting, to encourage them to add more people or something like that? Because I've noticed a lot of people they just send out that first message saying invite your friends, and then they just the party starts posting several days later, and we've never followed up with the hosts. So if you're guilty of doing that, again, all of this is in that document that I keep referencing. You're really leaving money on the table, because your hosts are the only ones that are going to be able to get their friends to join. I don't care if they're on the invited list and you start posting or whatever. You're not their friend. You're not your host's friend's friend, so they're not going to necessarily see your posts. And so that's the one thing that you really want to really drive home, and I don't mean, because there's some people that are just, nasty to their host and like, hey girl, I told you need to get 150 people in there and you only got 20. you don't want to do it like that. But you do want to send them a reminder. My big thing is I always started with great job on starting to invite. I encourage you to continue so we have a successful party or something to that effect. And I might have to send it twice, and then I'll also send the message to them that where they post something about the party. I don't ever do that until like Wednesday evening or Thursday, because I want them to really encourage them to invite people before they just put it out there publicly on their wall, because that's generally only going to get 5 or 6 people at the most. But 5 or 6 is better than 8 or 9, or 5 or 6 added to 8 or 9 is better than the original 8 or 9. So that's one thing I would really encourage everybody to be working on as well. Justine, how many times are you going to join the meeting? I'm just wondering. Is it one for each personality, or?
I'm not talking to you right now.
Challenge.
But anyway, any other questions, comments? Find anything helpful that we spoke about?
No, maybe it's just me, but I've had some bad host luck lately. I'll send them like the host post, but they don't seem to want to post them. So I've just been doing it in the party. He just doesn't get as many views.
Right. Just and I don't know how your parties are. Are you explaining to them the importance of why you need them to post?
Usually when I'm setting up the party in the beginning, I tell them that I'll send them a post each day, post it for, party interaction, getting your guests more involved in the party.
Yeah.
How I explain it.
If you send me a message, I have actually a little script of like 7 or 8 messages that I send my host on Friday morning at the beginning of every party. And it's telling them what I need them to do and why. It's more of a reminder. But, and I tell them, that, having a party without posting in it is kind of like having a party at your house and hiding in the bedroom. It makes no sense. Their friends want to see them in the party and interact with them and stuff like that. So, I'm willing to share that with you. It may help you, and it may not. But it's another tool that you're welcome to.
No, thanks. Yeah, I will take a look at it.
But yeah, I can say that maybe not April, but March and April, I've seen a lot of people talking about how their hosts have been a little bit different. And guys, at the end of the day, even though we don't like to be salesy, that's what we're in it for. And you're gonna have months that are out of this world, and you're gonna have months where you just have to push through it, and I'm gonna get to the next month because it's gonna be better. We all have some bad times. Honestly, I just went through mine last month. I think I was crying to Tammy every other day, like I cannot get a party to save my life. And I had to push through it and get creative, and I ended up squeaking by, but it was nothing like the previous 7 months that I had. I went from my average of 11 to 12 parties a month to squeaking by with barely getting 8, which I'm required to do for another training program that I'm in. So, it was either have the 8 or you get kicked out of the training course. So you have to get creative. But
I've been testing out in a couple parties. I haven't done the host coaching challenge, but I've been testing out to where it's like $10 per party to the host. So if you get me 4, then you can get this $40 prize. And the last couple hosts, it's actually worked pretty well. So it cost me $40, but I get 4 parties out of it.
Yeah.
I'm testing out that theory lately. It's been working.
Well, and one thing that it sounds so cheesy, that I was actually on a training call before I even became a director. That's when Steve was going for his first executive director promotion. And this lady, and I cannot remember her name for the life of me. She's a national executive director, but she was on our call, and she was talking about doing a live video in her parties. And what she does is she does an introductory video, and she doesn't necessarily go live. She'll record herself, and then she'll just post the same video across all of her parties. But then after she's done her introduction and kind of a short description of what the party is going to be and everything, at the end of the video she gives a secret word. And then that's the end of the video, and it just the description when she posts the thing was watch this all the way through to get the secret word. Well, then towards the end of the party, Wednesday or Thursday, she did another post saying, send me a PM with the secret word and I'll give you 15 tickets towards the grand prize gift. Well, I tried that last week, and good Lord, I was having like PMs just pop up and people guess, and I ended up booking, I think overall I ended up getting 5 bookings from doing that. Now it was across 3 parties, but I got 5 bookings from that, plus I have a recruit lead from it as well. So that's little silly stuff like that. The magic in the party is to get the party members to start communicating with you. Get them to send you a friend request or accept yours. That is why, and I'm not sure where you guys are with your template, but in my template I have a post that I send out actually the night before the party starts, saying send me your friend request and you'll get X amount of tickets, and it's like 4 different things that I asked them to do. Asked to join my VIP page, because it's all about getting them as a contact. Because until they've accepted your friend request or sent you a friend request and you've accepted theirs, they're not going to necessarily see your messages. That's going to go in that folder that's like, where Never Neverland is, because nobody can ever find the damn folder.
Right.
So that's the thing that I've noticed. So I would encourage all of you, to really try to promote an action from a lot of your posts. A call to action is the beauty thing. Also, how much time we have? We have a couple more minutes. In your posts, whether it's in your VIP page, personal page, or in your parties, there are certain things that you do not want to put out there. Don't put on your posts comment below or something like that, because Facebook sees that as a keyword and they're going to block it from being seen by a lot of people. So you want to be careful of the words you use when you're asking for a call for a action. I will often put something like shout out or drop a gift down below or something like that to whatever I'm asking. But you want to be creative and not just use like your standard call to action words, because they will be flagged and you might not get as much action from them as you hope to. And I've actually done Google, you guys, when you're doing your posts, I Google, typical call to action phrases on Facebook, and you will get a lot of stuff that you want to stay away from. And I've actually found a couple pages that will actually give you good ideas of other words to use. So, I don't have specific pages that I go to. I just literally Google, keywords for call to action on Facebook. And so you can get a lot of good information there.
I did discover those sale posts that pop up. Like, I think I finally got around that. So anything with a number is what it shows up. So even if you did like 3-quart or 4-quart bowls, like even that comes up. So you have to, if you type out the word 3 or 4, then it doesn't show up like that.
Yep. And that's why for a good percentage of my particular posts, and I don't know how savvy you guys are with, you know, the different programs or whatever, but a good percentage of my posts, I have my words and my image all in one. So I'm not actually posting words. The words are actually part of my picture.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. So that's why I did that, because, you know, Facebook was frowning on at that time, a lot of Steve's team was using Steve's template and his words and his pictures, and we were all posting the same thing, and people were getting in Facebook jail. Over and over again. 2 years ago, I went through a time, it was an entire month, I would get put in jail, I'd wait 3 days, I'd get out of jail, and I'd be back in jail within 24 hours. And I'm trying to run parties. You know, so, and that's what I was like, I'm putting all my words and pictures in one file, and I'm just going to post that. So, you know, but that's, you know, one way around that as well also, or if you want to spell the stuff out. But I really encourage you guys, if you're doing your own templates at this time, I'm sure some of you already are, I wouldn't put prices on your images, and also make sure that they're still valid product, because, you know, things get discontinued, and prices change, and you want to make sure that we're, you know, just like if you go to a grocery store or whatever, you expect that the prices there is what you're going to pay for it, not $1 more. So you want to make sure of that. Also, who is excited for the free-for-all that's happening next month?
I'm super excited.
This month.
Wait, I thought, isn't it happening this month too for the summer line?
Well, the summer is 2 products. That's just like, you know, extras. But the June or May and June is for the entire new fall line that will be released, and that September and March are our big months for the new releases. That's when we get the new catalog and all of that. So it's not going to be just a couple items, but the one that we're earning now are the 2 items that are being released for the summer, which I don't know what they are, so I can't.
That was my next question.
I can't tell you. All I know is there's some type of bowl. That's all I know.
Some type of bowl?
Yeah, from I saw that on Stacy's page. If you go look at the video she was talking about, it was some type of summer bowl. So.
Okay. That's cool.
But that's one of the, you know, it's supposed to be a game changer. So I don't let the lack of knowledge on my part to discourage you, because they keep saying how it's going to change or set us up for a great summer. So I hope it's true.
I have to say, I mean, and I don't have that much experience with like online sales and all that stuff, but I have to say that Pampered Chef so far, I'm impressed with their generosity, their acknowledgement. I mean, they emails like, Justine, you did blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, well, yeah, thanks. You know what I mean? So, but it's
a lot of congratulations and stuff just for my first show.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's impressive to me.
Well, you know, and that's what I don't understand. A lot of times when some of these pages that you get on and people are complaining or whatever, and I'm like, wait a second, look at all of what we get, acknowledgement and products and stuff just for doing what we signed up to do. To earn the new products, all they're asking you for is to consult parties and get some orders. Well, that's what you signed up for, isn't it?
Kirk, even the generosity of Steven, though, he doesn't have to at all give us anything. And for people to be snippy at him because they misunderstand,
Yep.
slippery slope, man, because you want him on your side.
Yep.
Kirk too, at Mickey Mouse Coffee Maker. Who got that, Kelsey?
Who was
Yeah.
that?
Kelsey got it.
Kelsey?
He mispronounced
You didn't
Nicole and
send
said
me
Kelsey.
your address, by the way, because it's sitting right here, and I'm like, girl never contacted me.
Well, but on the same token, and I think the same thing happened, and when everybody else will promote as well, I got a really nice bouquet of flowers and some balloons from my advanced director. So that was also a nice surprise. Some guy calls me at work and says, "Hey, we have some flowers for you," and I'm like, "Whatever, dude." And then he's like, "Can I have your address?" Nope. and he had my, but anyway, I thought it was a joke, and I come home and I'm like, oh my god, and they're beautiful, and they're still pretty. So
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah. Well, that advanced director guy, he's a jerk, but sometimes he does nice things.
I let him know.
So, how many? I know a couple of you on here. I just like to get a feel for it. How many of you guys are wanting to or trying to go to conference? And let me preface: no director or advanced director or national director gets anything for you guys attending. It's all about the training there. But how many of you guys are trying to make that happen this year?
Trying.
It's in Chicago.
Anybody that's not with a camera raising their hands that I can't hear?
I'm fully booked, and I'm fully booked and registered. I just don't have a hotel yet.
Okay, nice, perfect.
I'm not, and I'm bummed.
Just to get
but
away.
we plan our vacation a year in advance, so that.
Well, let me preface, and I've only got a few more minutes. What I'm about to say by saying that this is not from anybody at headquarters. This is not from anybody but my simple little self. All right. So, but when I went last year was my very first time going, and I'll tell you, I went there frustrated because my business was struggling, and I told my partner, I'm going to go, and when I come back, I will have made a decision of whether I'm going to stay with it or if I'm going to leave it. Well, we obviously know what happened. And I came home and I had a fire in my belly, and I was going to promote 3 times before the next one. And it looks like it's going to happen that way. So, I've already promoted twice, and we're working on the next promotion before conference. But what I really wanted to tell you is, all that product we were talking about you guys could earn with your sales the next month? Last year we earned that, and then just for being at conference, we got most of it again. Just for being at conference. So yeah, that fall line that happened last year, I ended up with like 2 sets of it, just because I was in conference. And then the ones that were in conference, these bonus points that they give you for your vacation package, you get another 1,000 points just for being at conference. At least that's what happened last year. So nobody has told me that all of this is happening this year, but if they hold true, as history repeats itself, I'm sure if they do it 1 year or something and they take it away, people will complain, just like people complain on Steve's page when something doesn't go the same way. So, imagine how home office feels about all the, some of the complaints that they must see.
Can you even imagine ever doing that though? My God, no.
Yeah, but it happens.
I was just bragging about all the cool stuff. I used some of my Pampered Chef money last week and ordered some stuff that I didn't have, like the chopper and the mix and chop and some of those smaller items. And I got it yesterday with FedEx, and Daphne and I, again, it was like Christmas, and it was all free. It was all free for doing my job. It was free. Mind blowing.
How many of you guys are still within your first 90 days?
Me.
Okay. So
I think I end my 90 soon.
Kelsey is.
Okay. You guys understand about the Pampered Chef dollars and how that works?
No.
A little bit.
Okay, for every $12.50 that you sell between now and the end of your 90 days, accumulatively, not each month. So it's all added together for your first 90 days. For every $12.50 you sell, you'll get $100 worth of PC dollars, Pampered Chef dollars, and it's put into an account on Consultant's Corner for you. Now you can spend it as soon as you earn it. I discourage that because on your 91st day of being a consultant, the entire catalog gets marked down 40% for you. So what I did, what I had done was I got my first $100 and I ordered something, and then I started thinking about it. Well, if I add all these up, and then I heard about this discount that happens on my 91st day. Well, that next $700 that I ordered in my first, or that I earned in my first 90 days, I saved that all up. I had everything marked down. I ended up getting me an entire cookware set and a rock crock. I got so much stuff, and I literally paid no money out of pocket for it. So that's an idea.
Not even shipping, you guys. They'll pay for your shipping and your tax with your Pampered Chef money. So I had $600 in products that I paid $0.
Yep.
So wait, Bill. I have a question, because I'm saving mine for Disney. Can you do that? Can you use it for Disney?
No.
What do you mean no?
What are you going to
Would
pay
you
for
spend
with
it on?
Disney?
It doesn't transfer.
The Disney is paid for if you earn it. So what are you going to put PC bucks towards?
I don't know, but I just got $1,400 or 1,400 PC dollars I need to spend, I guess.
I know. When you said that you were saving it for Disney, I was like, I don't know what you're talking about.
I thought I had
And this is Kit Enhancement Month, so you joined when, in December or January?
January.
So you actually have 120 days, if I'm not mistaken, because they gave you that extra month.
Yeah.
So you'll have a Kit Enhancement this month, and you'll have Kit Enhancement next month. So you could order the maximum this month,
Nice.
save the rest of it, and order the maximum next month.
That's what I'm doing. That's how I'm going to get my bigger, like my cookware set that I desperately want.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
girl, if you need help, let me know. I can spend that money for you. You need my address? You need my address?
No. No.
Oh, okay. So I did see on there that April was Kit Enhancement. So
Yeah.
I joined in January. So then I actually get it in May.
So
Okay.
you'll get it in both. All
Okay,
consultants, all consultants get it in April, and then because you joined in January and you got that extra 30 days, you'll get it again in May.
Okay. Perfect.
So
And,
just
and I believe those that joined in January, you actually earn the $100 of PC dollars for your first 120 days rather than 90 days, if I'm not
Awesome.
mistaken. So you'd have to go back to when you joined to see what the offer was, but I believe that's what it was.
Sweet.
I just bought a mixing chop. I didn't have one of those.
Seriously, Justine, you should see all the stuff that I got. I'm not even kidding. And it was all free. I'm so stoked. Toaster tongs. Daphne is elated to not have to burn her fingers on the toaster again.
How exciting it is with all this product. Can I tell you guys that I have an entire closet of unopened product? that it's just, it's crazy. The struggle is real. I am a PC hoarder.
I know I have no kitchen room at all, and my son says if one more Pampered Chef box arrives, he's gonna quit because there's no more room for it.
Yeah, well,
This is all part of the fun, though, too. I mean, earning it, spending it,
hoarding it.
hoarding it. And it's fun. And one day I had some of the consultants, in my team come over, and they were new. We were able to sit down and do the computer stuff, and I mean, just kind of hang out. I showed them the walk. Everybody loves the walk. it's fun, but that's for us locals. But I don't even have a mix and chop. I mean, I just started buying stuff, and I've been hoarding these Pampered Chef dollars. Like, you know.
It is a statement piece though, because I just have a small apartment, so my whole entire dining room is now the Pampered Chef room. So now when people come over, they just see all these boxes everywhere, and I'm just like, oh yeah, I'm selling that.
But you know, it's good advertisement too.
Well, I gotta go, guys, because I gotta buy some stuff.
Yes, you do. All right. Well, I will put this recording out on the webpage. I hope it really helped in some ways. And you know, if there's anything you guys, that's one thing I like to do with the team, is start maybe once a month getting together. Last time we did it on a morning. This time we're doing it on an evening, and just kind of, you know, talk about things that, you know, I find, you know, or I notice that people are commenting on or whatever. So if you have any ideas or wants of things you'd like us to cover or talk about, send me a message, or, you know, send Tammy or Justine a message, and, you know, they probably won't care and they just won't tell me. But I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding.
I know. I know.
But, you know, send your upline or myself a message, and, you know, we'll see if we can come up with a training on it. As you guys may have realized, I'm not much on the formal, have documents written out type training. I just want to talk it out. That's my best way of training, unless it's, you know, something that, you know, I'm not 100% about, or I think it, you know, we definitely need bullet points. But, you know, for the topics we chose this month, I thought it was better to just do a casual conversation about it. So
I'll say, Kirk, and I'm sure that Tammy and Nicole and I'm not sure who's all on here, but some of us that have been, you know, around for 6 weeks or longer. I mean, even just hearing it again is a great refresher, you know, because there's steps that I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot about that, you know, because you get so caught up.
Because you didn't read it about it.
Chime in real quick, because I'm pretty active in the other groups out there, just seeing what's being posted and what's being talked about. And I don't know how much time you spend looking around, but if you stop and read some of the questions that are going up, you can tell that not all teams have the kind of training and accessibility to their uplines that we do.
Yeah, I thought that.
Stephen and Stacy.
Well, can I tell you guys this training this past weekend? I went for a training for our lead program, which is a thing that's supposed to help you, grow your team and make you a better leader. The people that were there, other than me, we were talking about our uplines, and everybody was like, my upline isn't even involved in me, and I was like, I can't get my upline to stay out of my business. But that's a good thing. It really is, because not only do we have Steve, and Steve has since because I joined Steve's team, he was inside of his first year, and he was a fast track director when I first joined. And he has grown to be, such a, right on target leader, and then followed right back up with Stacy, who has been around forever. And she has, and that's why I say Stacy's team is good for like the seasoned consultants. And, if you really need some information, and people that have been around for a while. But if you want to know about virtual parties, go into Steve's group. And then if you want gossip and just some BS, you can ask me. I'm kidding.
I give her most of the stories.
So as you guys could tell, I like to laugh. So, I always kind of try to keep it light. But I will tell you guys the 8, 10, 11 of you guys that are on the call.
12.
Well, I'm the 12th. So anyway, we are pushing for senior director to be a senior director team by consultant or by conference. And I had promised the team way back when I decided that we were going to do that if we made senior team by conference that we were going to, as a team, push to be an executive team before the end of the year. So guess what's coming, guys?
All right.
And that's going to that doesn't, and I'm not telling you guys that because of it benefiting me. That's going to benefit every one of you guys, because that will do several things. What it will do is give us a lot more training and a lot more accessibility to training. It will also allow for me to, and I believe it's for first gen teams, I would be able to travel to the areas to actually meet with you guys and train you guys once a year, and stuff like that. So, you know, I don't know all the ins and outs of what it is, but I can tell you that from the time Steve first got his executive team last year to now, the amount of training and home office people that show up on our team meetings and stuff like that has just like amplified. So, and that's all stuff that will start becoming accessible to us as an organization as well. So that is on my. It's scary, and there's a lot of things that's going to happen, but I think we're a strong organization, and we're gonna do this.
I have to agree. And
So-
you know, and I'm gonna throw this out there too. You're not doing anything that the rest of us can't follow.
No.
So, I mean, it's for everybody. It's not.
And here's the thing.
Not one spot available. It's many spots available.
Here's the thing. I decided that, you know, and this is going above, you know, away from our training. But I mentioned last year at conference, the thing I decided at conference last year was I realized that the opportunity that is in front of us is exactly the same, no matter who we are, no matter our size, our color, or the color of our hair, our gender, our gender preferences. It doesn't matter. The opportunity is the same. It doesn't benefit any of us to know somebody at home office, because guess what? At the end of the day, we still have to get the team members, and we still have to get the parties. And home office cannot help us do that. So that same young director that I joined up under 2 years ago is now going for national executive director. And why can't that be me? And why can't that be one of you guys? There's absolutely no reason. You know, all it takes is a little bit of hunger, and yes, it takes a lot of work, because you're going to want to get those extra recruits, and you're gonna, to me, it almost becomes addicting. And just 15 more minutes on the computer, and it turns into another couple hours. But but the hunger is there, and and I'm not saying that it has to. By far, I do not spend near as much effort in doing my Pampered Chef job as I do doing my full-time job. My full-time job wears me out. My Pampered Chef job lightens me, and I love it, and I can do it, and I'll work overtime on that because it doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
So that's the thing about it. So those of you that are new, that are just kind of first getting your feet wet or anything, if any of that sounds good to you, please go to your upline. We can get you some training, or we can do some calls and answer the questions that you need to be answered. And I'd really like to see if people are interested in learning more about that, because I have a couple programs that I'd like to do a trial run with, but I need to know that I have people that would be interested in doing those. So let your upline know, or let myself know, and we can start working on that. But unless you guys want to just hang out and talk some more, that's all I have.
Thank you, Kirk. I think this was extremely helpful.
You're welcome.
All of my personalities love this show, I think.
And I'm surprised you have enough phone for each of them.
Well, I have enough personality for each of them. I'm gonna toot Tammy's horn again, because there's times when I don't know stuff, and I know that we say send it to Stacy, but I send a lot of people to Tammy as well, because Tammy has, so much insight, and so much that I learn a ton off of her, and watching her side as well. So between you and Tammy, Kirk, and even, the newer people, I guess we're all learning off of each other.
We absolutely
It's because I'm like, hey,
absolutely, and that's the thing about it, guys, is no one person within this organization is going to have every answer. You could send Stacy a private message, and you could stump her. There's so much to know and so much knowledge, which is why there's so much information on the website, because it's impossible for one person to just contain all of that information. It really is. So, don't hold back on asking questions, or, and I'll tell you honestly, when I get questions and stuff like that, what I try to do is I try to guide people to the answers rather than just giving them the answers. And just to be upfront, that's not me being cold or anything. That's me trying to show you where the information is, so you'll know for next time where to get it. So don't ever think that I'm just trying to not answer your question because I don't know. It's I would more I want to try to teach you the fish rather than just give you a fish, type thing. So all right, but I have nothing else for you, Tammy. I think you're going to have some people ask you to join your VIP page. Natalie, I want to be added to your group page. And Kelsey, send me your address.
And I'll send you my address. Well, any of my addresses, whichever one you want.
I'm not sure which personality that will go to.
Oh, well, you guys are awesome. I appreciate that. We just have a great team. So I appreciate all.
We do. And it just keeps getting better.
It
Yes.
does.
It just
Yes,
keeps
because
getting
there's so many people I don't know.
Well, here's what's funny. I'll get a friend request, and I'm like, I don't know this person. And then I'll look at it, it says Pampered Chef, and I'm like, I guess I do know this person. Okay.
Yep.
So that's
another thing. Real quick, guys, and we're like going way over. Those of you that are recruiting, we want to make sure that when we have new recruits, that we have them ask the uplines or request the uplines as a friend. Just because there's people on the Shooting Stars page that I have no earthly idea who they are. So just tell them send Kirk a friend request or send Tammy a friend request, depending on whose page you're adding them. And the reason for that is just if they have questions, they can send me a message, or if I see something that's going really good for them, or something that I might be able to offer to them, I might reach out to them. So we always want to have the line of communication open for the organization. All right.
Yeah, that's a good point. I always add to the pages, but I don't think I've ever told anybody to friend request you. That's a good point, Kirk.
Yeah. It's always a good thing. All right.
Okay.
All right. We'll talk to you guys later. Love you guys all.
Are you going to stay on?
Bye.
Kirk?
All right.
Oh, wait,
Kirk, are you going to stay on?
We'll end this call and we'll get back on in a minute.
Okay.
Bye.